Welcome everyone. Today we have Paolo Trivoletto joining us today. He's the owner of Phantom Writer, an AI LinkedIn ghostwriter, and of his LinkedIn content agency, Starborn. And today we're just going to be talking about LinkedIn and more specifically about generating leads from LinkedIn for B2B businesses. So, Paolo, do you want to just tell us a little bit about you, who you are, where you're from, and then what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Paolo. I'm from Italy and I was born in Canada, but I live in the UK. We basically are so at least my software, Phantom Writer, it's an AI content tool that helps you create viral LinkedIn posts, generate inbound leads. And then with the content agency, we're basically a team of people that go to businesses, go to B2B companies and help them start generating leads through LinkedIn.
Awesome. Okay. And when did you get into the LinkedIn space?
Um, Probably over a year ago, a little over a year ago.
Okay. So you've had some quick growth then. What do you think was one of the ways you've been able to achieve that so quickly? Because I see a lot of like new guys in the space, new guys building companies and stuff, and they just can't generate any traction.
Yeah, I mean it was definitely hard at first, you know. At first you're posting, you'll probably quit a few times after a couple of weeks, but I just need that first viral hit and then as soon as I got, you know, for me a couple hundred comments was viral and then I had that motivated me. I just kept replicating the strategy. I'd say the number one thing, if I could attribute anything to like my whole personal brands, my whole just all of my growth is probably lead magnet giveaways. So just creating something insanely valuable related to the problems you solve, the service you provide, and then giving that away to people who engage on your posts. So you tell people comment a specific word and then I'll send you the resource. Those have been just absolutely insane for growth and driving pipeline, and it works for any business. You guys can easily implement it. It can literally be like a Notion document, it could literally be a YouTube video, just any kind of value that you can give away to someone, and then it's really really easy to go viral because once people engage, that's a good sign for the LinkedIn algorithm, and then it just pushes it further and further to more
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, for sure. I've got some questions for you about that more specific later on. But yeah, something I've noticed even is like if you post enough of your giveaways or like the lead magnets, for some reason the LinkedIn algorithm will promote it just that one time, and then it's gonna like it just blows up, and your account continually gets traction on every single post after that. I don't know if it's something set up in the LinkedIn algorithm, but yeah, for some reason the lead magnets really can generate like great engagement. I would say more so like it's not like every time that it can do it, but for some reason that LinkedIn algorithm just hits you one time and then it sets you up for kind of the rest of the rest of your account life, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think if LinkedIn also just sees that your yesterday's post has done well, then today's post is probably going to do well. At least it's going to get pushed out to a bigger initial batch of people to see if it's good. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a snowball effect.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you're at over 12,000 followers. What is your best tip to grow as quick as you? Because I think you've been able to get that in about 9 months.
Yeah, I mean, most of those followers are probably even in the last like 6 months, so
Okay.
pretty fast growth. I think, again, the first piece of advice would be lead magnets. Then I would also say what you want to do is just give a bunch of value. Like really be known for giving excessive amounts of value, and the market's just going to end up naturally rewarding you. And if we really think about growth like on a fundamental level, especially with these social medias, it's just about keeping people on the platform for as long as possible. So with the algorithms, with the platforms, they get paid by their advertisers for however long they can keep them on the platform. That's basically they get paid more. So you just need to make content which increases this metric on LinkedIn. It's called hover time. It's like YouTube retention, for example. So it's just how long people actually spend on your post. So things you could do is creating engaging graphics and flowcharts. You could create long form videos. You could create carousels. all of these are things that you can do to help, first of all, not only capture the attention of someone, make them stop scrolling, but then also make them continue to consume that content for a longer period of time. I would also say personal stories work well, but in terms of lead gen, it's not amazing, but it just depends really what are you going for? Are you just trying to build, a brand, an audience, or do you want to make money from it? If you want to make money from it, definitely position yourself as an authority. Definitely also post, case studies, post video testimonials, and just make yourself come off as the go-to person, the go-to expert in your industry.
Yeah, that's great advice. If let's say I was at 200 followers and I'm hardly getting any engagement, how would you get me like some quick momentum?
Yeah, I mean, definitely first thing you'd want to do is just connect with people, first of all, which sounds counterintuitive because it has nothing to do with content, but on LinkedIn, every connection you get is a follower. So I would make sure that you're doing like 20 to 30 connections per day, just to your ideal clients or the ideal people you want in your audience. Don't personalize them, and that will just automatically bring you a couple hundred new followers a week. So once you have that basis of 500 to 1,000 followers, that's when your content will at least have, a higher chance of getting pushed out. And then the other thing would just be, again, posting those lead magnets, creating content, make sure you're doing stuff every day and just testing. Like, I worked with someone, probably it was, a completely new niche. I was hesitant in taking them on. And what I had to do is just the first 3 weeks was literally me just testing a bunch of stuff, like all the different formats, all the different post types, just seeing what do people care about in this industry. Even if it's not directly related to your service, what can you do to at least hook them in and bring them into your ecosystem? And then later on, you can create content which nurtures them and educates them around your service. So it took us about like 3 weeks of just testing, kind of getting no results. But then afterwards, he's been my most successful client, and he's had like a lead magnet which got probably the biggest lead magnet on LinkedIn ever, with over 11,000 comments.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, it's I was surprised, but the reason that we did that was what I talked about earlier. Also, we mixed in not only lead magnets but the short form, like trending content right now. So it was around some ChatGPT creatives and AI UGC also. So a bunch of trending topics.
Yeah, okay. And with your clients, do you have some sort of like funnel content strategy where you do post more of that shallow type content, the trendy stuff, and then maybe you have more of the value content, and then kind of to funnel out, or to end that funnel, it's like case study stuff like that? Do you guys implement any sort of funnel like that?
Yeah, kind of. So rather than I've heard people break down their content strategy into funnel stages. I recommend breaking it down into awareness stages. So rather than focusing on the content you create, focus on who you're creating it for. So the awareness stages, there's like 3 key ones. Number 1, if I'm not mistaken, is just problem unaware. So these are people which they just have no idea the problem even exists. Maybe they're just not even struggling with the problem. But some people, they could have the problem, but they don't realize it. So there is also some nuance and some ambiguity, but it's basically people which don't know they have the problem that you're solving. Then there's pain aware, which is people which actively feel the pain and the problem. So for example, somebody who's not generating leads and they know, okay, my revenue's down, that's because I'm not generating enough leads. So those are people which actually know they have the problem, but they're not necessarily actively looking for solutions or anything like that. And that brings me to the third and the final awareness stage, which is solution aware people. Solution aware people are people who are actively looking for solutions. They know they have that problem. So you want to split your content into the same way that there's the most amount of people are in the problem unaware stage. They just don't even know the problem exists in the first place. So I would say about 40% of your content in that stage, about 35% of your content in the pain aware stage, and then about 25% of your content in the solution aware stage. So you kind of break it down by the number of people in each stage. And as you create content, you slowly increase their buyer sophistication. So the more content that they consume from you, they will slowly move down those awareness stages. They will slowly realize, okay, actually, I am having trouble generating leads. And then more of your posts, they read more of your posts, and then they realize, okay, LinkedIn could actually help solve this for me. Then they look into, okay, who can provide this for me? And then they look into why should they choose you over everyone else. So it's very linear.
Yeah, that's a great explanation of all of that. And I don't think a lot of people like understand like how kind of complex like content is. Like a lot of people think that they can just post content, they can kind of post whatever. Maybe like some of them even know like, hey, I should be posting lead magnets. But none of them are actually getting any leads because they don't realize how much content strategy goes into it, how much back end stuff, how many funnels like need to be set up all in place, and a ton of testing like that you were saying that you needed to test for 3 weeks for one of your clients. Like I don't think most people realize that, and I think that's one of the reasons that you can succeed so much better, because if you position yourself well in the LinkedIn space, because people don't realize that, and a lot of people drop off pretty quickly in my opinion, or at least in my experience, they drop off of LinkedIn quick after 3 weeks, 4 weeks of posting and getting 1 to 2 likes only.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. I think it's really is. I mean, it is a volume game, but it's also just like, don't just create random content. Like you're saying, there's build a strategy behind it, build hypotheses, test it, experiment, see what works, and then once you find something that's working, just really double down on that and make the most of it.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of to add on a little bit more, you're on Twitter as well, and I think you could agree with me here that Twitter is, let's even say, like 50% creators, 50% consumers. On LinkedIn, I would say there's only 10% that are creators and 90% are the consumers, or maybe they're still posting content, but nobody is reading the content, which leads to like there's such a massive amount of potential on LinkedIn that's still there because you have all your ideal clients there, but it's just so untapped. So if you stand out by using Paolo and his services or my services, you can stand out really quickly just by becoming that authority, by posting good content and getting obviously engagement to your content.
There's a massive unbalance between demand and supply on LinkedIn, especially like you were talking about creators and consumers. But if we actually look at the creators creating good content, that comes down to an even smaller percentage. So there's just a massive opportunity where go into your space, start creating super valuable content, and if it's truly valuable, if it's easy to consume, actually there's a 3-step framework that I developed, which is called the CAV framework. So it's consumable, actionable, and valuable. So if your content is consumable, so 1-line paragraphs, easy to read, just easy to skim through. A lot of people just want some bite-sized value. They're not going to read the whole post. Then we have actionable. So that is, can someone take action on this information in the next 24 hours? So really making something where we can help people take action and ideally even see results within the next day or two. And then the third one is valuable. Valuable is really, it's pretty vague, but I would say just, would someone be willing to pay for this information? Is this something which can help someone achieve their dream situation or solve their current problems? So what that means is, what I want to say is, if you create content following that framework, and that's going to guarantee that it's good content. Like, that's just a recipe for good content. And if you do that on LinkedIn, then you're going to see success. And like you said, there's just so many more consumers that there's a massive demand for not only content, but even just good content.
Yeah, for sure. Kind of going back to, like, if I started at 200 followers, how would you get me engagement? And we talked a little bit about sending out connection requests and stuff like that. A thing that I see popping up more, and I've even experimented with my clients, is using engagement pods and stuff like that. Do you think that should play a part in growing on LinkedIn, or do you believe in going 100% organic?
Well, I'll tell you this. Like, okay, engagement pods will only help if you want to create. Engagement pods will only help if you want to create. If you create good content. If you don't create good content, engagement pods aren't going to help you. So
Hmm.
you may as well just create some amazing LinkedIn posts. Engagement pods, they're not going to hurt you. You know, they're not going to hurt you. Worst case, you get some more engagement. The bad thing that can happen is you get engagement from people which do not have your ideal audience. So then you end up getting either unqualified people or just irrelevant people in your audience. And then LinkedIn's going to think, oh, you want more of those people. So it's going to just continue to grow your audience based off that assumption. And you're going to grow an audience which is not either not fit for your services or is just completely irrelevant to what you're posting about. So engagement pods can help if it's in the same industry as you. I don't really like to do these kind of proper engagement pods. If I will do something, it would be personally I don't use any myself, but if I was to do something for my clients or recommend something to people, I would just say maybe just make a group of friends that all want to grow on LinkedIn and genuinely comment on each other's posts. I don't even think you need to make a group chat for that. You know, you can just tell people, hey, let's just engage on each other, or just ask someone, you know, one time, hey, I'm making this lead magnet. I really want it to go viral. Can you comment on it? I think like structured engagement pods, that's where it gets like quite sketchy. But if it's just out of goodwill, like, hey, can you help me out? Can you help engage? You know, on a post or two, I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I love everything you said for sure. In my experience, like it can work for a little bit of time, but then it just slowly wears off because those are the only people commenting. And I think LinkedIn notices that and starts actually like demoting your posts instead of promoting them. Um, and specifically like on the lead magnet side, I think like just getting a few friends to comment on a lead magnet post and just hope that maybe out of the 10 lead magnet posts that you posted for that month, out of the five, maybe even, that one of them goes viral. And then because it goes viral, then all your future content just starts performing organically well. So I think I would more so just be focusing on just get that one viral hit and then build up your momentum from there.
I completely agree.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into lead magnets a little bit more because I know that is more so of your sweet spot. So first of all, what are some tips to create an awesome giveaway for a lead magnet?
Okay, so awesome giveaway for a lead magnet. So there's a few core like components of a viral lead magnet. A lead magnet, you're giving away a resource. You don't, the whole point is that you're really building this curiosity and fear of missing out. So we just want, it's all about the perception essentially. So what can we do to maximize their perception of the lead magnet? And we want the lead magnet to, we want to present the lead magnet as the bridge from their current situation to their dream situation. So imagine it's somebody who's not generating leads and you know they're just struggling, and then I make a lead magnet about LinkedIn lead generation, like you know a full guide, whatever it is, a massive Notion document, and then I use in the hook as well. I say, hey, this is how I generated this many leads in this many days on LinkedIn, and then I say brackets, you know, without doing any outreach or some kind of, you know, add some kind of information onto it. So just first of all, it's the positioning of the lead magnet as a whole. So the naming of the lead magnet is super important. Like, how do you position it? One of my most viral posts had like 3,500 comments, and that was one where I positioned the lead magnet where before this nobody had done this. At least I just came up with it myself, but as a masterclass, which a masterclass just has inherent value just from that name. It's the connotations of that word pretty much. And I used a sped up video format, which is what I'm going to get into now. Is the media that you attach with your lead magnet is super important. So you want to attach media which basically builds curiosity and kind of maybe gives them a taste of what is in the lead magnet, but not enough to extract value from it. So enough to make an assumption or make a decision like, oh hey, this looks super valuable. It looks like he's going to teach me more about this. So in this sped up video, it was just my masterclass, but sped up like 100 times faster in 10 seconds. And you could just see me rambling on, going to different tabs, like showing you me sending out DMs and stuff. And then they're like, okay, wait, so they were basically able to watch the whole video, but they got no value from it, but they still were able to kind of understand what I'm going through, and also the text that you do in the post should complement that. So it's really important that you kind of break down exactly what's in the lead magnet. Not always. Like, I've seen stuff where they just say, oh, hey, and it has all of my knowledge laid out. Whereas usually what I do is I would have a bullet point of all the sections or the pages in it or the main things that are covered. That's usually the best thing, because that will build, again, that more curiosity, and where they're like, okay, this is everything that's in it. This is exactly what I want to see. The final thing with a lead magnet is your call to action. So it's hook. It's going to be, like giving them an explanation of what's in it, and then after this, your call to action. So the call to action, usually I like to keep this under 6 letters, just one word, under 6 letters. Comment and connect with me. Like, comment this word and connect with me, and I'll send it your way in a few minutes, whatever it is. I came up with this method, which you might have seen on some CTAs, which was P.S repost for priority access in the queue. Mm-hmm. So I did that. I ran it for all my clients. I don't think that had a massive effect. So that was just a test I ran, and a lot of people saw those posts going viral, and then everyone's doing that now, where they have like a call to action to repost as well. I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, I invented that, but I decided to test it, and I don't think that matters. I think it's not going to hurt you, but I found that reposts, they only really help if it's from a super massive creator. So usually those kind of mini call to actions or additional call to actions don't help too much. Something to note, which I learned early on, is that on LinkedIn, likes count about 3 times less than comments. So comments count more than likes in the algorithm. Because, if you think about it, someone going out their way and typing out, something and their whole thoughts on your post, which goes back into hover time, they're spending more time on your post. So the LinkedIn algorithm likes that way more. It might not even be that comment itself has, I'm not a developer, I haven't looked into the LinkedIn algorithm. It might not even be that the comment itself has more value than a like. But it might just be that the times that they literally spend typing out the comment, that all of those thousands of people spend typing out, that's what actually increases the reach of the post and makes it go super viral. So that's pretty much everything I have to say around lead magnets.
Yeah, that's really awesome info. So a few things that I picked up on is that you said 6 letters or less. And is that because you want to have the least amount of friction for people to go and comment?
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I want it to be easy. I've seen my best ones are usually ones where it's like 3 letters. Just, we really want to minimize the friction, because if you think about it, like, these people are going out of their way to comment, and they're also, when they comment, they're pushing that out to their audience. So they're letting other people see that they commented and requested this resource. So it really has to come off as something super valuable, and you just want to make it as easy as possible. And by the way, something I wanted to add is, with the call to actions, I wouldn't also recommend stacking stuff. So don't say like and comment, because LinkedIn only counts the first engagement. So if you do if you say like and comment, what happens is LinkedIn's going to count the like. It's not going to count the comment. And comments, as I mentioned before, count more. So if we just do comment and connect with me, that's gonna get better results.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay, so another question, we've only got a few more questions here, but another question kind of with the lead magnet side of things is that lead magnets are a great way to get followers, but you also say that you book a lot of calls from these lead magnets. So I'm wondering, what is the best way to convert these people from these giveaway lead magnet type posts?
For reference, like, I've booked like 20 calls in a day from a lead magnet. I've booked clients booking 10, 20 calls a day just from one viral lead magnet, completely inbound. Plus, through DMs, you could be booking another 10, 20, 30, just depending on how many people there are. So, as you noticed, when I said that, there's probably 2 different parts of it. There's the inbound part, and then there's the conversion part. So with inbound, there's a couple different touch points. So number one is when people go to connect with you, when people go and just naturally, lead magnets will drive a bunch of views on your posts. Even if people don't comment, it's going to drive a bunch of people to your profile. From your profile, you want to have like buttons which say visit my website. You want to have a feature section with some case studies. Basically just trying to convert people, and you'll get a lot of people not only going to those websites and booking calls directly, but you also get people DMing you just saying, hey, can I book a call with you? Or, hey, I'm interested in what you have to offer. Then the other thing with inbound is on your actual lead magnet itself. On the resource itself, you want to add, I guess I like to call it embed. You kind of want to naturally flow with the lead magnet, but have call to actions which are structured within it. So a lot of the time, maybe I'm making a lead magnet about my tool, Phantom Writer. I might do something where I talk about, content creation, and then I'll slide in just naturally that if they want to save time, I recommend this tool called Phantom Writer. So it's also just about embedding your offer. And then also you can literally just have a big part in like a big section of your lead magnet, which just says, book a call with me if you're interested, or you can have a VSL, just the call to actions, the conversion mechanism, just straight up, as the first thing in your lead magnet. For example, if it's a Google Doc or if it's a Notion doc, like you could have the title of the lead magnet, and then straight under you could have that call to action. And then with the DM side, it's way more complex. Like I'll be the first person to admit that I'm not, the most amazing at it, but we do help train clients and teach them how to do it. So the process is just kind of, whenever you send a lead magnet, ask a question alongside it. So ask something just to start the conversation. So something like, for me, it might be something like, are you already using LinkedIn to generate leads? Or it could be something like, are you looking to take on new clients at the moment? Just something easy to respond to start the conversation, and just see, are they even, able to are they even able to work with me? Do they have any wants? Do they have any desire to work with me? So a question that's easy to respond to, and then afterwards you go more into like qualifying questions, seeing if they're a good fit, and just being like, okay, like how many clients are you getting a month? What specifically are you doing right now that's working for you? Like why is it not working for you? Just dive deep into their situation. It's kind of like just a sales call, but on DMs. But try and come off more casual. Try and come off as a real human. And then afterwards, near the end of the conversation, if they still haven't said like, "Hey, I'm curious, what do you do?" Which most of the time during the conversation they will just end up asking you, because most of these people, they just literally need to be pushed over the fence, like just slight nudge over the edge, and they're gonna be like, hey, actually, you know what? I was thinking about having a call with you. Why don't we just book something in and I'll see what's up? And if that hasn't happened by the end of the conversation, you can just, send a voice note or just send a message, just straight pitch them, say, hey, I think you'd be a super good fit for what we offer. We help these people. Here's a case study. Let me know if you're free next week, and we can have a quick chat about it.
Yeah, that's perfect info right there. I think just to be like a little clear too, this is when you're DMing them the lead magnet like link, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And another question that kind of goes along with this a little bit, and with our previous questions, why so much more LinkedIn like organic compared to like LinkedIn like cold outreach?
Well, LinkedIn outreach works. It works even better when you have content, but that's a different discussion. That's just because people are warmer and they trust you more. They can go to your profile, they can see your content. But why LinkedIn organic? So I would say probably it's just the type of people that you get. They're easier to close. You get higher contracts, so like the higher ticket clients. They're just usually easier to work with as well, because they've consumed a lot of your content. They trust you. I mean, overall, just the leads you get are a way higher quality usually. I guess it's a double-edged sword, because with inbound, you can't exactly control, who clicks on your website. So what you need to do is you just need to make sure that you have the right amount of friction in the funnel, and the way you're going to do that is just by seeing, okay, based on this traffic, am I getting enough leads? If you're not getting enough lead, just volume, then you wanna decrease the friction, like reduce the questions on your Calendly, just make it as easy as possible to convert. And then if you're getting too many unqualified leads, you just want to add more stuff. So add more qualifying questions on your Calendly, like do they have budget, these kinds of things. But inbound is just attracts a really, really high quality and high intent, I'd say. I think it's really about the intent. They're just super high intent leads. And from inbound, you can easily be getting like 30% plus close rates, high ticket deals. It's just an easier world compared to completely cold prospects.
Yeah. I would say like the LinkedIn organic, like if you have good content going out, is like a form of like warm paid ads in the sense of like paid ads only attract people that are interested in your offer. Otherwise, they will not be clicking on your ad. And that's like how LinkedIn is with your content and with your call to action and stuff like that. It is only going to attract the people that want it. Whereas if you're doing cold outreach, you're going to be reaching out to as many people as possible. Yes, you might have some specific more messaging, but you don't actually know who wants that. With your content stuff, when you're putting out good content, you're getting these interested people. They are already ready to buy in that sense because they would not have reached out to you otherwise.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I don't want to skip over this because I know that you have your LinkedIn ghostwriting SaaS, and that's called Phantom Writer. So I want to ask a little bit more like about what that is.
Yeah, so I mean, it just kind of started as an internal tool. I trained an AI. I built a prompt like slowly over months and months of creating content. I started to notice patterns. I have my own guides, SOPs, like strategies, examples, all of this kind of resources, and I just fed it all into one AI. We fine tuned it. We basically just made it the perfect LinkedIn ghostwriter to not just generate, engagement. And you could, if you just want to generate engagement, you can engineer it that way, but it's also just focused on creating content which generates inbound leads. So started as an internal tool. We launched it to the public at the start of March. So pretty new, but we got a lot of good feedback. And yeah, I mean, it's just a super, super powerful tool that lets you, I still use it internally to help me with my client work. So still something I use literally every day. And I think that's just proof that it really does work.
Yeah, for sure. I've tried it myself, and honestly, I love it. It's one of the best tools, if not the best tool out there for writing content and stuff like that. One question I do have kind of that goes along with this is how do you control like the templates that it puts out or the like the content that it puts out so much so that you're not getting threads that look exactly the same as someone else's thread that used the Phantom Writer?
Yeah, so first of all, like it's not template, so it's just completely, on the spot. I would say that's completely valid question. The main thing is based off the prompt and based off the idea. So you can get AI. First of all, when you first enter the Phantom Writer, you have an onboarding form where you go deep into your offer and your niche. If somebody's targeting the exact same niche with the exact same offer, it's likely that you get similar types of content. It's not going to be the exact same, but it will just naturally be similar because that's just naturally what's going to work. The other thing is it just depends on what you input. So if you ask the AI to generate ideas, it will give you like 10 different ideas. And those ideas are not going to have been generated before, or maybe a couple of them will have, but like there's no way to confirm or deny. But it's generating 10 completely unique ideas. So
Awesome.
then you'd have to basically then also choose the exact same idea as that person, and then the AI would also have to generate the exact same post. So it wouldn't it could have similar posts, but it would never generate like the same post. And if you want it to be, really authentic to you, what I'd recommend doing is taking your own tweets, taking your own podcast, your own, or just YouTube videos or other people's tweets or other people's LinkedIn posts, and then feeding that as information so that it has specific value that you've given it to then create content around.
Yep, that makes sense. How do you see AI, like specifically content writing, affecting the future of content agencies?
I mean, I'm gonna be like every other person and just say it's gonna amplify it. I think that obviously demand is gonna decrease for content agencies. I kind of built a tool to replace myself, but I guess it's the demand for the people who wanted it is still there, because there's people who don't like AI or who just want higher quality content. Like the content that I create with my agency is going to be a lot higher quality than the content that Phantom Writer creates. But the content that Phantom Writer creates, it's enough for somebody that maybe doesn't want to invest a lot, or that's willing to, tweak it, like go back and forth with DAI, or, just change the words, whatever it is. So it's just, there's different people for different situations. To be honest, if somebody couldn't afford like a package for at least like 1.5k per month, then they probably wouldn't be my client anyways. And at least, Phantom Writer or AI can come in to help them. So I think also content agencies specifically, they should be using, if you're like, the easiest way to reduce costs is just going to be using AI for your ghostwriters. Like train your ghostwriter on how to use AI as a drafting tool or as a tool to then speed up their work. And then suddenly that ghostwriter, which could only handle 5 clients, 10 clients, can now handle double the amount of clients. So I think it's literally just about increasing efficiency, capacity, and then margins as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we see this with AI like all over the place. People worrying like, are we going to get replaced? And it's like, yes, the people that have just the skill will, but the people that know how to operate these AI machines and stuff or tools are going to be able to thrive, because it's creating way better efficiency on that end. And then just with a few tweaks and stuff, you have perfectly good content, or whatever else you're using the AI for. I also think another aspect to that, which is a reason that people shouldn't be worrying about like all this AI and stuff, is that the reason a lot of business owners hire agencies or any other business is because they don't want to do it themselves. So they could hire you as the operator of that AI, but you are never going to be fully removed, because someone somewhere is still going to want content or any other service that you are providing for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think also with AI, like it's something where, yeah, it's, if you don't leverage it, then you're kind of just, you're fighting a losing battle. And with the tools that are out there, it just doesn't, it's almost, it doesn't make sense to not leverage it. So yeah, completely agree with what you said.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that was my last question for you. I appreciate you coming on, Paulo. Is there anywhere that people can find you? I will link all your descriptions down below. Where should they be looking for you, though?
Yeah, I mean, just Paolo underscore scales on Twitter,
Okay.
phantomwriter.io. Like, yeah, I guess you can check out my Twitter. But then if you actually want to work with me, it's phantomwriter.io for the SaaS, and then start1ai.com, or just message me on Twitter, message me on LinkedIn. You can just search out my name. And yeah, I mean, it was great. It was a pleasure to speak to you. I'm really glad that you invited me, and I think there's a lot of golden nuggets that people can pick up on.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the best podcasts that I've seen, and I've watched a bunch of podcasts. I've interviewed other people, and this is definitely one of the best. So really appreciate you coming on, like I said, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Amazing. Bye bye.